I come here actually quite a few times a year.
Yeah.
I'd say like 2 or 3 times a year.
Well, speaking of travel, Carlito has just come off of an amazing Tribute to the Troops tour. Give it up for him for doing that for our American troops. Tell us about the tour that you're just coming off of with Lisa Marie Varon, Victoria, Johnny
Yeah, we went to, where did we go? Shoot.
Saudi, I think?
We went to Saudi Arabia, we went to Abu Dhabi, we went to, was it Djibouti, and a couple places. So yeah, it's always cool to go and see the troops and see what's going on over there and see that it's a whole different world than what you see in the media. Right. Not to get political or anything, but a lot of stuff is overblown and exaggerated as to what's going on in different situations.
Yes. Ringside Salute Tour, an amazing thing that they do there. Was that your first time going overseas for the troops, or did you get to go with WWE?
No, I went with WWE a couple times. We went to Afghanistan, we went to Iraq. Where else? A couple places, yeah. Those are always probably one of my favorite things to do is do those trips over there.
It's for a great cause, absolutely. Well, guys, I'm going to ask a few more questions, and then Chris Brooker has a microphone, so get those questions ready. We want to make this an interactive Q&A with all of you here in Manchester. But Carlito, I have to ask you, you know pretty much everybody that's on this tour. We've got Kevin Nash, a lot of the AEW folks. We've got Ted DiBiase. Was there anyone here that you were looking forward to seeing again, or anyone to meet for the first time?
No, yeah, it's just always good to see, you know, I don't get to see all these guys all the time like I used to, so it's always good to run into guys like Nash, you know, Big Show. I saw Booker T earlier. I met a couple of new people like Adam Cole, Britt Baker. So yeah, it's cool to meet all these new, I'm a Jungle Boy over there. He's a cool cat. Yeah, so it's cool.
I feel like everyone's younger than us now. What happened?
We got old.
Yeah, why are we adults now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. One day we started in this business. Now we're the veterans.
Yes. And when did you start in this business? What was your first foray into professional wrestling? Obviously, it's in the blood, but what were your first memories of getting into the business?
Well, I mean, it was a family business for me. So I remember from the first, I think it was since I could walk. You know, I started working in the canteen. I would put up the ring. I was a cameraman. I was a beer hawker, and then eventually the next step was to become a wrestler.
And obviously, you have an illustrious career in WWE. The coolest superstar ever. Let's give it up for that. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
And such an interesting character. How did the character come about? How did the apple come about? How did the phrase come about?
Well, when I first got to OVW, which is, you know, the developmental, whatever it was back in those days, I used to shave my head when I was younger. I didn't like my hair. I was ashamed, not ashamed of it, but I didn't think my hair was cool. No pun intended. And then when I got there, everybody had their head bald. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna grow my hair out. And then I just got lazy, and then all of a sudden, people just started noticing how wild my hair was, and I thought, okay, let's go with that. And then the apple spitting, if you notice, if you look at old Razor Ramon promos, mine are all basically rip-offs of that. And then in one of those, he spat something at some guy, and in mine it was an apple. And then Vince saw that, and he said, okay, I like it, kid. I want you to keep spitting apples at people's faces. And then I asked him, I said, I'm the one spitting the apples? He goes, yeah, okay, yeah, I got no problem with that. I can do that all day.
You're getting spit on. You're the one to spit the apples.
Yeah, yes.
How funny that your signature hair is something that everyone knows you for, and that was something that you weren't really into. Everyone was bald around that time, though, like Stone Cold. And wrestling hairstyles go very in cycles, right? Now, there was a time everyone had long blonde hair, but no one's ever had your look.
You can't pull off my hair. And it's hard to maintain, so.
I've tried. Well, I have to fangirl over something that I mentioned to you earlier. So who here was a fan of the show Glow? Glow Wrestling, Netflix, loved it so much. And it was so cool for all of us as wrestling fans to not only, by the way, loved the show for the wrestling, yes, but the writing was amazing. Even if you weren't a wrestling fan, I think you could find something to love about this show. But having wrestling cameos in the show, we have John Morrison that was there. We had Alex Riley. And you had a role as one of Carmen's older brothers. Tell us what it was like to work on Glow and how that opportunity came about for you.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was my first acting gig I'd ever done, my first experience. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know that, you know, you have to do these scenes like 87 times. Because in wrestling, we're used to, you know, one take, and if it's good, it's good. If you botched it, you botched it. But yeah, it was great working with girls and stuff, and it was good to be a part of every season. And unfortunately, we didn't get to that last one. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Well, Well, I know that I'm being hopeful, but we had Awesome Kong on our show, and she was...
He was great. I thought
She was
fantastic.
amazing. Awesome Kong, you guys. How great was she in Glow Wrestling? And she was hoping, just like us, for maybe a way to tie up that show and finish the seasons. We're going to go to Chris Brooker now with some questions. I do have more, but I'm not going to be selfish.
This gentleman very keen. What's your name, sir?
Jordan.
Jordan, what's your question, sir?
Who do you think is the coolest AEW superstar?
The coolest AEW
Who's the coolest
superstar.
AEW? You know, y'all know me. I'm a heel at heart. I like this MJF kid. There's a couple of guys. I like Adam Cole too, but I don't know. I just think that MJF is a cool cat.
Have you met MJF before?
I did. I don't know if I should tell you guys this, but
it's just between us. It's
I was
okay.
disappointed. I don't know if I should say it, but anyway, I was disappointed when I met him because he's actually like the nicest guy you could ever meet. I was like, really? You're this nice? Like, all right, kind of killed it for me, but don't tell anybody I said that though.
Yeah. No street cred ruined here.
If it helps, he was so mean to me last year. It was unbelievable. Question.
It's like when he insults you, it's like a badge of honor somehow. It's like you want to say thank you. It's very weird.
Self-esteem. Go ahead, sir.
Just a quick question, Carlito. WrestleMania 21, you got to work with Roddy Piper and Stone Cold Steve Austin. How fun was that?
That was great, working with two legends like that. I'd known Roddy Piper for years because, he used to work for my father's promotion. And then, Stone Cold, anytime you get a chance to go in there with Stone Cold, it's an easy night. So I think I got my ass kicked that night, but it was still fun. And the payday was pretty good too, so I have no complaints.
How was the catering?
The catering?
Yeah.
It's always good. WWE catering is always good.
Mania Catering's where it's at.
It's always
So
good.
talking about Roddy Piper and Stone Cold Steve Austin, what guys like that did you look up to when you were coming up in the business?
I didn't really look up to people in the business because, like I said, I grew up in it. So I never got to see them as superstars. I just saw them as these guys backstage.
Dad's friends.
And one thing I noticed from back in the day was like, I'd see the good guys, like, man, these good guys are like a bunch of degenerates. Like the bad guys seemed like the cool people, and the babyface were kind of like the a-holes. Yeah. That's just the way it was. I don't know. I don't know if it's
Little known
changed.
fact. Mr. Brooker has a question over here on the right. Hi there.
Here we go. What's your question, my friend?
Did anyone refuse to get the apple sprout in their face?
It's actually the opposite. For some reason, people like you said, like talking about badge of honor. Some people like, but like you tell me, oh, I'm gonna spit in your face. Oh yes, thank you. Or I'll get on the street too for some reason. People will ask me, they'll say, how much would you charge to spit in my face? I'm like, why would you want that? I can't think of anybody that I'd want to spit in my face.
Have people brought you apples like at a Comic-Con to do that to them?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you just decline
I
politely?
decline because I think there's a lawsuit somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just go around doing that. And
Imagine that lawsuit. So
We're
that
in-
you're not offering that today here at For the Love of
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Oh, we're in a post-pandemic world.
Yeah.
Also, selfish trivia. Many years ago, I actually managed a wrestler against you in Grimsby, Live the Dream. You did spit apple in my face. Absolute pro, all in the face, none of my clothes.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a professional at this point. People don't know there's an art to it.
Oh, well.
You can chew it too much or you can chew it too little. You have the perfect right to get that perfect stick.
I feel like kids are going to go home tonight and be like, all right, so he said to do this, and here's my little brother.
I've actually had
also-
a lot of parents come up to me and say that too, that their
Have
kid
you?
either got suspended or expelled
Don't
for doing that.
spit at home. Don't try this at home, kids, okay? Or adults. I see that look in your eye.
Okay. Was it you, sir? Right, go ahead.
So when you did spit in the face of people who don't know how to be cool, is there anyone that you enjoyed doing that to in particular?
That's a good question. Probably. I can't think of anybody. Yeah, spit in his face, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's equally joyful to spit in anybody's face, you know what I mean? You should try it sometime, but don't. If you're allowed to, go for it.
If Mom says it's okay. You did start smiling when he asked, and I'm thinking, who did you enjoy that with? Oh, we've got a question from this lovely gentleman right here. Hello.
Gentleman here.
You don't know who I am. You're too young. How old are you?
10.
10. Yeah, you don't. Okay, go ahead.
He was going to ask about WrestleMania 21 as well. So, yeah, what's your name, my friend?
Zenon,
There you go. What's your question?
what was the hardest match in your wrestling career?
The hardest match? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So that's a tough question. Just one would probably be that Money in the Bank, where I gave Jericho that backstabber off the ladder. That was a very stupid thing to do. I won't do that again.
Look cool.
Yeah, look for. I'm glad you enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy that at all.
We enjoyed watching it. We were not on the other side of the pain.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't want to be on the other side.
Something also not to try at home. We've got a question right over here on the right.
Go ahead. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mark. I'm coming from Dublin, Ireland. Carlito, long-time fan. We were lucky enough to have you over in Dublin at Christmas for OTT for 2 nights. You got to face Renzo Rose and Matthew Bullet Smith. What were your biggest takeaways from those nights, and how did you find working in OTT?
It was great. I always enjoy being in Dublin. I always enjoy being in the UK. You guys are definitely a different crowd, a rowdy crowd. So I really appreciate that. And I like that you guys go with me whichever direction I go. If I'm a bad guy, you go with that. If I'm a good guy, you follow me there. So I always enjoy performing for you guys.
Shout out to OTT there. Now, Carlito, when you are traveling in the UK or beyond, do you have time to go see things? Do you make time? Do you try to eat like the locals? Or are you one of those guys that's like, where's the Waffle House?
No, now I do. Now I do. When I was with WWE, I used to be in and out. We didn't get to see a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
since then, I've been able to see actually most of England and even the small little towns. The beach towns, I forgot what it's called. It's very beautiful in the summer. So yeah, I've been able to see pretty much a lot of the UK now that I have more time to do that.
That's kind of nice, right? Because you're your own boss. If you're doing independence, you know, you kind of can take your own schedule and do with what you please and meet lovely people like right here in Manchester. We've got another question here on the right.
Up you get. Stand up. What's your name, my friend?
Harry.
Another one. What are these kids? What's going on? Are your parents feeding you questions?
Yeah, parents are too shy. This is why you breed
They say,
minions.
hey kid, do this for me. He's like, I don't even know who this guy is, but okay, go ahead. No, go, I'm just kidding.
If you could, who would you wrestle in WWE now?
Whoever makes me the biggest check at this point. You know what I mean? Whoever, probably Roman Reigns, I guess. That sounds right. I don't think
That's fair, yeah.
checks don't get bigger than that, I think. No. Yeah.
Reigns versus Carlito. Who would like to see Roman Reigns versus Carlito? Yes, please. How cool would that be?
I don't know. Be careful what you wish for, guys.
We've got a question from this dapper gentleman over here on the left.
Hi, I'm Aziz. I work for the QVW Academy. I would like to ask, what were your memories/experiences working with QVW?
With QBW? Oh, it was great. I love going over to Qatar. Is it Qatar or Qatar? It's Qatar?
Qatar.
Okay, I always get that confused. Yeah, it's a great country. I always like going back. I hope to go back soon. I think Masters and I are still the tag champs, so I'm assuming we have to defend those at some point.
Speaking of Masters, I was going to go into that because Chris Masters, one of my personal favorites, known him for years. He's such a great guy. Explain your bromance. You guys are always together. You have such great chemistry. Love to see it. How long have you been bros?
I don't even know how we became friends. To be honest, we were quite opposites. We almost got in a fight on an airplane, actually.
That's how it all started?
Yeah. And
What?
Then about 10 minutes later, we were watching a movie together. And then we became friends over there. But yeah, he's a cool dude. I don't know about the long hair he's rocking these days.
He's got the long hair back. When I met him, he was 19 and he had long hair. He looked just like Triple H, a baby Triple H.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah,
Was he that big too?
totally.
He was a
At
monster?
19, he was giant.
A monster, yeah.
I think he just came out of the womb just, what's up, you know, just jacked.
That sounds like
Baby
it.
jacked. Where is Chris Brooker as we get off
I'm
topic?
traumatized.
We're just
quite
talking about
honestly.
Chris Masters' muscles for the
Oh,
rest
he's
of
over
the...
there. There he is, over there.
There he is.
Ooh, good Lord. I hope that was a cesarean. What's your question?
You're right, Carlito. So, obviously, you spit apples in people's face. You're the king of cool. But, apple choices, Granny Smiths or Pink Ladies?
I get asked that all the time, man. They both work equally well. I don't care. Red, yellow, green, it doesn't matter to me. The only one I don't like is, for some reason, some places have like these mini apples that they hand me sometimes, which I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I like an average size apple. You know, that's it.
Nice,
that's my
girthy
only
apple.
complaint. Other than that, I don't care.
This is the hard-hitting journalism we came for. Have you ever thought of dabbling in another fruit? Has anything else ever caught your eye, or you're strictly monogamous?
A mango, perhaps?
No, I stick with apples. Apples have been working so far, I'll stay with apples. And don't get cute with any other kind of fruit kind of thing.
No.
Please don't be about apples and spitting. This is getting uncomfortable. Go ahead.
So, what is your
opinion on the whole John Cena and Jesus storyline where Cena got stabbed in the club?
I believe I had nothing to do with that. It turned out, right? It was allegedly that myself and Jesus had stabbed him, but it turned out I was at the club, I think, but I wasn't the guy. And I'm sticking by that.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Yeah. And how did he get stabbed and end up doing a movie at the same time? I don't know, but
yeah.
hey.
It's multitasking.
He's tougher than we think.
We actually had him here at Monopoly events. Lovely guy. He was great with the fans. Yeah.
We love Cena. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of the fans, here's one.
You came back to the Royal Rumble last year. Was there any talk of staying permanently, or was it always going to be brief?
The deal was, I think it was 2021, right? I did the Rumble. Excuse me. Yeah, the deal was just to do the Rumble. Then they asked me to do Raw the next night where I tagged with Jeff, and then that's all we talked about. Yeah.
What was it like to go back after so much time? Did you find it much altered? It was kind of just like home and you knew everybody, or was it different?
For the first 20 minutes, it was weird. Just seeing all these new faces and stuff. But then what people don't realize is there's people backstage that have been there before I was even there, before Cena was there, before Shawn Michaels was there. So after about 20 minutes, it just felt like being home, like I'd never left. So that was yeah. The only weird thing was going out there and no audience, working a bunch of flat screens. But
Did you find that distracting?
No, it's just very weird not seeing faces and not seeing people. You know what I mean?
Just selfishly, because I think we all had collective PTSD and like to forget the Thunderdome ever existed. What was it like? What was it like to be in that? What did you hear? What did you see? Wrestling in front of like Zoom calls.
I don't know. You just pre-recorded sounds and piped-in noise, but then you'd see like faces. I guess they had people recording from the houses, just randomly cheering. I don't know. It was weird, but
I'll just ask. Put your hand. Give me a noise if you actually got into the Thunderdome at some point. We're in the virtual crowd. Give me a cheer. Most people have normal sleep patterns here, it seems. That makes sense.
But there were two people, I think.
Me, right?
Yeah, very odd. Well, thank goodness those days are over. Now we're back to doing live shows, just like here in Manchester. Can you tell us, we're not going to end yet. We have time for a couple more questions. But just one from me. Where are you going to after this? Because you are traveling all the time. You're making the towns.
From here, I go back to Las Vegas for about a day or two. Then I'm off to Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah.
For
So
shows?
that'll
or
be fun.
Pleasure or?
Both, yeah. But I haven't been there. I've been there once, but I was in and out. So now I'll get to see stuff. So.
Cool. Colombia, very cool. Here's a question over here on the right.
Here we go.
Hello. I was just wondering if you've had any talks with AEW at all.
Nobody calls me, man. AEW, WWE, TNA. What else is out there? Nobody calls me. So I just do my thing, man. And having fun so far. So.
Well, we are in a Progress Wrestling ring. Who would like to see Carlito come back to the UK for Progress Wrestling? Yes, please. We'll grab your number.
I called Progress too. They hung up on me. So.
I feel bad not saying Progress, but then I think they'd make fun of me back home. We have time for probably 2 more questions, you guys, and then Carlito's got to get back to his autograph area. You already did some photo ops today as well, right?
I did, yes.
Very cool.
I think tomorrow too.
I keep saying cool, and I realize it's sort of a pun. It's just something about you makes me want to say cool.
Why do I have to run? Not a
We got him
runner.
Chris is getting his
today.
steps
They got
in.
him working
Stop
today.
walking away from me as I come to...
He's an elusive one.
For the love of God.
Hiya. I'm just wondering, your return at the Royal Rumble, you returned looking absolutely jacked. And I follow Chris Masters, and he was taking a bit of... he was saying that he was helping you get in shape and put an effort into getting you in the physical shape you were at the Rumble. I'm just wondering on your input on that. And looking so good, why didn't Vince McMahon snap you up like he does all the big men?
Are you saying I looked like crap before that? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. A lot of people told me that, but it's the tone I didn't like. He goes, bro, you looking good. I said, what does that mean? I did look fantastic. You are right. I believe. Yeah, like I said, man, nobody calls me, but it's all good. I stay in shape for me. Which I don't know how long it's there because Father Time is kicking my ass in the cardio room, but it is what it is.
Can I ask, you mentioned that the hair takes a lot of looking after. Mine doesn't. It left me. What are your hair secrets, sir?
My hair secrets? wash it every couple of days. Yeah, I can only comb it out when I wash it. Shampoo it maybe, and then put some leave-in conditioner. That's about it. That's all I really do to it.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
That's a Comic-Con exclusive also, wherever Aaron is.
It just grows like this, I guess. So
Yes.
I'm lucky or unlucky.
It's natural.
Either or.
It really is your signature, though, that's for sure. And you've had so many different iterations of action figures and merchandise. But have you had cosplayers? By the way, we have some amazing cosplayers around here. I saw the Miz running around. There's some great ones. What does it mean when someone comes up to you and they're cosplaying as you?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I wear that as a badge of honor. They usually have terrible wigs, but I think that makes it even better. Yeah, it's cool to see them walking around with an apple and stuff. And sometimes they'll have a friend with them and they'll spit an apple at their, I guess, best friend has got to be to let them do that. So yeah, it's always cool seeing stuff like that. Or just people walking around with my shirt on and stuff is cool.
But the hair's never on point. They can't master that.
The hair's never on point. Nobody, Nobody,
not yet.
Not yet.
Sounds like a challenge, cosplayers that are listening or watching on YouTube. Now, Chris Brooker, we have time for one more question, if we can get one more from the crowd.
One more question.
But
Come
another
on.
question for me, if I may. So we mentioned AEW, we mentioned current WWE superstars, and of course, Impact Wrestling. Are you watching any current wrestling? And if you are, what are your thoughts? Do you have any favorites?
I don't watch a lot these days. I get a lot from the Instagram, just watching those highlights. I like this LA Knight kid. I've known him a while. I think they should do something with him. Who else stands out? I'm trying to think that's there's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple out there. But yeah, those are ones that I think that should be used more. I think we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, there's a lot of great talent out there.
It's frustrating. So, for example, LA Knight, who was also in Impact Wrestling, has gone through a few different characters, and that does happen to certain wrestlers. Are there any other people that spring to mind, Ziggler, that you think are not treated as awesome as they really are? I would have loved to see Ziggler do more. I wish he was on TV more.
But that's just the wrestling business. You know, that's how it goes. It's going to happen to some guys. And then some guys, it's going to be the opposite. They get pushed a lot more than they should. But, you know, it is what it is. You can't get mad at that. Also, I like this El Vikingo guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the human could move like that. He's going to be dead by Tuesday with all the stuff he does, but what a, bro, I've never seen somebody move like that. That's crazy.
But while he's here, he's really doing
While
it.
he's here doing
While
that,
he's here with
that
us.
crazy stuff, yeah.
We have lost Mr. Brooker. Where are you, sir?
To your right.
There we go. We've
Here
got
we
a question
go.
over here.
Here's a question. No pressure. Make it a good one.
Hi there.
Make it a good one if it's the last one.
Yes. I don't know whether you want to answer this. You obviously toured with The Undertaker as the locker room leader. I was just wondering, were you ever subject to wrestler's court yourself or anything?
Luckily, I'm second generation, so I kind of knew from the first day I got there how to manage myself within the locker room. So I never really had issues like that. I know Undertaker didn't like me at first, but I think we were in Puerto Rico one time, and we were at the casino table, and I had him rolling, and then after that, he said, all right, this guy's a loudmouth, but I kind of like him.
Wrestler's Court. Wow, we're ending on Wrestler's Court. My goodness.
I saw a lot of guys go down in Wrestler's Court.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch it, not when you're on trial.
To be a spectator.
To be a spectator was amazing. It was
Were you
great.
ever on the jury? Did you ever have to
I was
seal
never on the, no, I was
someone's
never in the
fate?
jury. Like I said, I don't like bullying, but I like to see it. You know what I mean? I don't like to be part of it, but I enjoy watching it from afar.
If it's in front of you, you'll give it a go. Okay, final question for me, and I want to get very philosophical. Sometimes I try to have a little Oprah moment here, so let's all just say the question that's on everyone's minds. Carlito, what does it take for someone to truly be cool? What makes someone cool?
What makes someone cool? You know, I'm gonna be real corny and say just being yourself. I think that's cool. Don't you guys think? No? All right, well, let's just be then. One guy.
Cheers for the honesty, though. Give it up for Carlito, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
The coolest star here in Manchester, and he is going to be right over here to our right at the autographed